The valley, before the city, before Los Angeles became a name written in lights, before highways cut through its neighborhoods, before cameras turned its streets into the imagination of the world. This land was quiet, with another kind of life. The basin was not empty, it was alive. Long before Spanish maps marked it as territory, the Tongva people lived across the valleys, rivers, islands, and coastal plains of what is now Southern California. Villages stood near streams and marshes. Canoes moved across the ocean. Trade routes connected communities from the coast to the mountains. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Shell beads, baskets, tools, stories, and songs moved through a world that had existed for generations. Then came the Spanish Empire. In the late 18th century, Alta California was still a distant frontier, remote, dry, and difficult to control. Spain feared that other empires might reach the Pacific coast. Missions, presidios, and pueblos became tools of occupation. The land would be claimed not only by soldiers and priests, but by settlers, farms, roads, and names, and one name would grow larger than anyone could imagine. 1781. The Pueblo of Angels. On September 4th, 1781, a small group of settlers arrived near the Los Angeles River. There were 44 people from 14 families with indigenous, African, and European ancestry. They had traveled more than 1,000 miles from northern Mexico, crossing desert and hardship to build a farming settlement. The place was given a long sacred name, El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de los Ángeles de Porciúncula, the town of Our Lady, the Queen of the Angels of Porciúncula. But there was nothing glamorous about it. There were no movie studios, no boulevards, no skyline, only river water, dust, animals, adobe walls, and the uncertain promise of crops. The first Los Angeles was a pueblo of labor. Men dug irrigation ditches, women cooked, cleaned, raised children, and held households together. Oxen moved slowly through fields. Corn, beans, and grapes grew under a fierce sun. At night, the settlement became dark and quiet, surrounded by open land. Yet from the beginning, Los Angeles was complicated. It was not simply Spanish, not simply Mexican, not simply indigenous, not simply European. It was mixed, layered, and contested. Its founders were people of different origins, living on land already inhabited by others. The city's future diversity was already present at its birth. But so were the conflicts of conquest, displacement, and survival, from Spanish rule to Mexican Los Angeles. In 1821, Mexico won independence from Spain, and Los Angeles became part of the young Mexican nation. The pueblo changed. The missions began to lose power. Ranchos expanded across Southern California. Cattle became wealth. Hides and tallow were traded like currency. Vast estates stretched over the land, ruled by California families whose names still echo across the map: Sepulveda, Pico, Verdugo, Dominguez. Los Angeles in this period was dusty, rural, and rough. Riders moved across open plains. Adobe homes stood around the plaza. Fandangos filled courtyards with music. Merchants, ranchers, vaqueros, indigenous workers, and travelers crossed paths in a town that was growing, but still far from a metropolis. But the peace was fragile. The Mexican government was distant. Local power belonged to families, landowners, and military figures. Beneath the beauty of ranch life was inequality. Indigenous people were often pushed into labor systems that offered little freedom. Land, water, and power were already becoming the real story of Los Angeles, and soon another flag would rise. 1848, an American city is born. The Mexican-American War changed the destiny of Los Angeles forever. After conflict, occupation, and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, California passed into American hands. 2 years later, in 1850, Los Angeles was incorporated as an American city. But it was still not the Los Angeles we know. It was a violent frontier town. Saloons, gambling houses, dusty streets, and unstable politics shaped daily life. Ethnic tensions grew. Mexican Californios, Anglo settlers, indigenous people, Chinese immigrants, and others lived side by side, but rarely as equals. The old ranch world began to collapse. Droughts killed cattle. American courts challenged Mexican land grants. Families that once controlled enormous estates lost property through lawsuits, debt, and political pressure. The transformation was not only economic, it was cultural. Spanish-speaking Los Angeles was slowly pushed aside by an English-speaking American city hungry for expansion. Then, the railroad arrived. In 1876, the Southern Pacific Railroad connected Los Angeles to the wider United States. In 1885, the Santa Fe line brought competition, lower fares, and a population boom. Land was advertised as paradise. Sunshine became a product. Real estate agents sold orange groves, health, and dreams. Los Angeles learned one of its greatest skills, selling the future: water, oil, and the making of a metropolis. But dreams need water. By the early 20th century, Los Angeles was growing faster than its natural water supply could support. The city looked north toward the Owens Valley. Engineer William Mulholland became the face of a massive solution: the Los Angeles Aqueduct. In 1913, water from the Owens Valley arrived in Los Angeles. Crowds celebrated. The city could now grow. But the triumph had a shadow. Owens Valley farmers and communities saw their water diverted, their land dried. Los Angeles expanded by taking control of resources far beyond its borders. The City of Angels was also a city of appetite. Oil made it richer. In the early 20th century, oil derricks rose across the basin, in fields, neighborhoods, and even near homes. Black gold pumped from the earth beneath Southern California. The smell of petroleum mixed with orange blossoms and dust. At the same time, the harbor at San Pedro grew into a major port. Roads expanded, streetcars carried workers across neighborhoods, suburbs spread outward. Los Angeles was no longer just a town, it was becoming a machine, powered by water, oil, land speculation, and migration. Hollywood, the dream factory. Then came the cameras. Filmmakers arrived in Southern California because the light was bright, the weather was stable, and the landscapes were endless. Mountains, deserts, beaches, city streets, all could become worlds on screen. By the 1920s, Hollywood had become the center of the American film industry. Studios rose behind walls. Silent actors became gods. Directors built ancient cities, western towns, palaces, and battlefields on backlots. Los Angeles turned illusion into industry. But Hollywood was never only glamour. Behind the premieres and flashbulbs were workers, carpenters, costume makers, drivers, extras, editors, writers, and immigrants trying to survive. Stars lived in mansions, while laborers crowded into small rooms. The screen sold fantasy, but the city outside remained full of struggle. Still, the dream spread across the world. For millions who had never seen California, Los Angeles became an image before it became a place. Palm trees, sunsets, fame, reinvention. A city where the past could be rewritten and a new identity could be performed. War, freeways, and the endless suburb. World War II transformed Los Angeles again. Aircraft factories expanded. Shipyards worked day and night. Migrants arrived from across the country to build machines of war. Women entered industrial labor. African American families came during the Great Migration. seeking jobs and possibility, only to face segregation and discrimination. After the war, Los Angeles exploded outward. Freeways carved through the basin. The car became king. Orange groves disappeared beneath subdivisions. Shopping centers replaced fields.
We can almost see the market from here.
The city stretched farther and farther until Los Angeles was not one center, but many. Downtown,
Okay, Hollywood goes right here.
Watts,
And
Boyle Heights,
is next.
Venice, the Valley,
Here's the one
South
for
Central,
San Pedro.
East LA, Koreatown,
debris to
San
the staging
Pedro.
area.
But the
We gotta keep
freeways
this
also
pace if we
divided
wanna hit the
communities.
deadline.
Neighborhoods of color were destroyed or isolated. Public transit declined. Smog thickened the sky. The promise of suburban freedom came with pollution, inequality, and distance. Los Angeles was becoming the city of motion. But not everyone moved forward equally. Uprisings, culture, and contradiction. The second half of the 20th century revealed the contradictions at the heart of Los Angeles. In 1965, Watts erupted after years of police tension, poverty,
The jury
and
has
racial
reached a verdict.
injustice.
The 4 officers
In
involved have been
1992,
acquitted of
after the
assault and
acquittal
excessive
of
force.
officers filmed beating
letting it burn.
Rodney
We gotta
King,
go now.
the city burned again. The world saw flames, anger, and helicopters over neighborhoods that had long been ignored. Yet Los Angeles also became
How
one
much
of the
longer we got
great
on this wall, though?
cultural capitals of the planet. Chicano murals turned walls into history books. Hip-hop rose from streets shaped by pressure
Freshly
and
made right here.
creativity. Korean,
We have the best
Salvadoran,
prices on spices
Filipino,
today.
Armenian, Iranian,
try the takoyaki.
Japanese, Chinese, Ethiopian, and countless other
Is this your first
communities
time here?
transformed the city's food,
Yes,
language,
I heard the Yesigawa
music,
is the best
and
in the
identity.
city. Look how the gold
Los Angeles
shines
became
right
not a
there.
melting pot, but a mosaic,
Beautiful work. Truly
sometimes
inspiring.
beautiful, sometimes broken, always alive. Los Angeles in the 21st century. By 2026, Los Angeles stands as one of the most
The shot looks
recognizable
good here.
cities on Earth.
Adjust the
It
lighting
is a
grid to
capital of
10%
entertainment, fashion,
and move the blue
music,
rack out. We're using the metallics
technology,
first.
trade,
Bring that chassis to the
sports,
line. We're
and
setting the next box
migration.
in 5.
Its port connects
Solid
global
copy. Moving up
commerce.
now.
Its studios shape global imagination. Its neighborhoods
up, I'm
contain hundreds of
starving.
languages, memories, and
Is the
cuisines.
Kung Pao
But
chicken
the
in
old
here?
questions remain. Who owns the
You
land?
can't just evict us for
Who
these
gets the
renovations.
water?
We have rights.
Who can
The new
afford
water
to
pipes are
stay?
essential, and
Who
the
is
rent
pushed
reflects
out when
the
a
current
neighborhood
market
becomes
value of this
valuable?
neighborhood.
Who benefits from the dream, and who pays the cost? Homelessness, housing prices, climate danger, wildfires, drought, and inequality define the modern struggle. The same sun that once sold paradise now beats
Here,
down on
drink this.
tents beneath
Are you both okay?
overpasses.
We're hanging
The
in
same
there.
mountains
Thank
that
you.
frame the skyline burn under hotter seasons. The same city that creates dreams also forces many to fight simply to remain inside it. And yet Los Angeles endures. After earthquakes, riots, fires, scandals, and reinventions, it keeps rebuilding. Not always fairly,
Easy, bring it down slow.
not
Watch
always
the rebar.
wisely, but constantly.
All right, she's clear.
The city that refuses
right
to
there.
be one thing. Los Angeles began as a small pueblo beside a river. It became Spanish, Mexican, American, indigenous, immigrant, cinematic, industrial, suburban, rebellious, glamorous, wounded, and unfinished. Its history is not a straight line. It is a layered image. Adobe walls beneath glass towers, Tongva land beneath freeway concrete, Mexican
camera left,
plazas
tighter on
beside
the
corporate
subject.
skyscrapers,
And hurry
movie
up, we're
sets
losing
beside
the light.
homeless camps, palm trees beside wildfire smoke.
Ambition,
To understand Los
contradiction. You
Angeles
look to the
is to
angels,
understand
you crave the
contradiction.
luxury. But
It is a
where
city
your
of
soul,
angels
Los
and
Angeles?
ambition, beauty and erasure, sunlight and shadow. A place where people arrive believing they can become someone else, and sometimes do. A place built by those whose names appear on monuments, and by millions whose names were never written down. From 1781 to 2026, Los Angeles has never been only a city. It has been a promise, a warning, a stage, a battlefield, and above all, a living memory, still expanding, still burning, still dreaming under the same restless California sky.